Hey, it's January the 4th, 2026, and I have something I need to show you. First of all, I have several requests, and Kevin Johnson at Gotham City Comics, Mesa, Arizona, I was talking to him yesterday. He was so excited about this new channel that Friar Tuck told us about, but he couldn't get to it, so I think he was going to buy a Roku box last night. He may already be there, and I've had some people in the comments ask, how do you get to that channel? And it is complicated, so I'll show you here. Okay, so you have your Roku box, and then you have to search for stream on a budget. Showcase free live TV. I guess stream on a budget is what you want to type in, and then you want to get this app onto your screen, and you click on it, and it'll look like this. Stream on a budget, showcase stream on. And then it'll give you all these channels, all these different options. Why you would want Canadian TV, I don't know. Paranormal Zone, Christmas Zone, all these movies and TV on demand. Riff TV, I don't know what a lot of these are. Cliffhanger Classics. I think it only has one movie serial on it, but Classic Television Networks, that may be great too. I haven't explored it. But where you need to go is Free TV Zone. Click on that, and then they give you all these different options, all these different little UHF channels that do kind of the Me TV kind of thing for baby boomers that show all the old shows. But the one you want, what I was talking about, is called Throwback Television. It says, formerly on WBXZ TV in Buffalo, New York, Throwback Television Network provides curated linear television content from the 50s to the 90s. And then they have a website. You can watch it on the website if you don't have a Roku. Anyway, so I click on that, and then it says click to watch Throwback TV or their current schedule. And
West will new after station identification.
And so here I am. And it's a commercial for the Wild Wild West. Even though they don't air Wild Wild West on this channel, they have old commercials in between. Occasionally they have a new commercial, like for Mike, the MyPillow.com channel. Product. And a couple, but mostly they're old commercials from the 60s and 50s. And right now you're in a cartoon block on Sunday morning. They also have it on Saturday morning. It's right now they're finishing up a Filmation cartoon with Rick Springfield, which I wasn't recording, but I'm about to press record onto my DVD recorder and record some of this entertainment. This whole block until noon today is called PBJ TV according to their schedule. I guess that means peanut butter and jelly, but I can't get a more detailed schedule of what they're actually going to be showing, so it's going to be a surprise. I know that they have a superhero block that lasts for 2 hours on Saturday and Sunday. Yesterday they showed all 60s DC cartoons. But the commercial I saw was showing the Marvel Superheroes cartoon from '66. So maybe they show that too, which tells me this channel is on. Maybe Disney and Warner Brothers don't go after this channel because there's only 12 people watching. I don't know. But it seems like it's a questionable, it's like legality, because Warner Brothers jealously guards those cartoons, and Disney will absolutely not allow people to air even the sound from those Marvel superhero cartoons. Yesterday, while I was doing my show showing comics, I had this playing in the background, and I got 3 copyright claims, which made my show unable to be blocked in all the entire planet Earth. So what YouTube allows you to... Oh, it's the Planet of the Apes cartoon from 1975. Okay, well, hopefully that's not going to get me a copyright claim. I doubt it, but who knows, man. Anyway, this was was an interesting cartoon. At the time when I was starting 5th grade, I thought, why do the apes have planes and cars? I thought that was, it was not true to the movies. But looking at it now, I realize that it's a great cartoon, and that's actually the way it was in the original novel by Pierre Boulle or Boulle or however it's pronounced. Not sure if I've ever heard anyone pronounce it, honestly. But the original book, the apes have a more advanced society. In the movies, the apes are about as advanced as the Romans were. They have, although they have guns, that's about the most advanced technology. So here's Attack from the Clouds is today's episode. Maybe I should turn this down a bit. Yeah, everything's great about this cartoon. It has a great look. The music's great. Yeah.
What is that thing?
Turn this down a bit.
I don't know, but it's gigantic.
Okay, so that's how you get to this channel. But I'll be watching it today and be amazed at what maybe pops up. Okay, I've got a bunch of boxes here that I brought down before around Christmas time because I was going through Archie Comics, and I'm to the ends, so I want to finish going through these comics so I can take them back upstairs, so I don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 short boxes in the living room. So that's my goal for today, and I might go show you some books in there, but mainly I'll be watching these cartoons and recording them. So, how are you doing on this fine Sunday? Yeah, I had a very difficult time finding this channel, so don't feel bad. If it wasn't for my wife, I never would have found it. And then Friar Tuck, who was the one that told me about this, he's been on the show. He kept saying, you've got to find this channel called Throwback TV. And I said, well, how do I find it? And he eventually he typed in stream on a budget. And so that's how you find it. But yeah, I'm not sure how they're doing it. It's a better channel than Me TV. And years ago, there used to be another channel like that would show up on VHS called Hot TV, which stood for History of Television. And that was really good. This seems to be the best of all these nostalgia channels. Now, I wish it has some horror hosts on Saturday night. Someone named Mr. Lobo and something called Mansion of Mystery. Mansion of Mystery is terrible. It's just really low. Ugh. And Mr. Lobo, I haven't seen him. I've heard people say they like him, but Svengoolie has some history. He's like a horror host that's been around for decades. Now that he's brought in Sarah Palmer, also known as Pinup Palmer, as the character Gwen Gooley, I really am a big fan of hers. I wasn't a big fan of her holiday special, but it's like can you imagine that you're upset that some burlesque girl, neo 1950s kind of doesn't share your politics? Well, of course she doesn't share my politics. She's like 20, probably 30 years old.
This is to be the general's final opportunity.
Oh well.
He has pledged not to fail, no matter
I expect everyone to think like I do, right?
and I shall look forward to dealing with him in the appropriate way.
Okay, and that's just how the other side thinks. They like to cancel people, so I shouldn't be like that. But she has great timing, and I think she's just as talented as Elvira was. If Me TV was thinking, they would spin her off into her own movie, horror movie thing right after Svengoolie. Do a double feature. But
But retrieving the airplane
Okay,
is
so,
extremely
all right.
I know. We just can't let it fall back.
Oh, okay, so I got these copyright claims that blocked my video yesterday, but you've seen the video, so you're wondering what happened.
That's
So
right. If Urko
YouTube
discovers the
allows
past
you
without our
to,
knowing, it would leave
if
the
you've got
humanoids
some
vulnerable
offending
to a
music
gorilla
or
surprises.
video
How
in
luckily,
your
if you will.
video, it allows you to crop it out,
Might come in handy,
like
but it's
trim
too
out that
valuable to
segment
risk
entirely,
losing.
and YouTube will
Especially
edit
in
that
this
part
highly
out,
dangerous mission.
or
We know that, Jeff.
they'll,
Are you sure you want to chance it?
like,
There are
what
bound to be
happened with
gorilla
me
patrols everywhere.
is
We
the
know. We're just going to have to be
1967
extremely
Batman
careful.
Filmation cartoon and the Aquaman cartoon.
It looks like the humanoids
The
finally
theme
got the
songs to
protection they
those
need against Urko's
cartoons
gorillas.
were
Mill Valley's pasture land
in an
seems
immediate no-go. I could not have them playing in the background while I was going through comics. So it allows, it has this technology where they can keep my voice as I'm showing comics and get rid of the background music. So it edited out, it removed the background music from the Batman and Aquaman theme. And there was something, what was the third one? It was something else. I can't remember. But once the Batman theme was trimmed out, then it was no longer blocked worldwide. Then it was just the Aquaman theme and, man, I can't, oh, it was a Groovy Ghoulies song. So once the Batman song was gone, it was viewable by people everywhere except in Russia and Belarus. For some reason, they were punished by not allowing them people to see. And I thought, well, I can't allow people in Russia not to see the stupid comic book haul that I made. So I edited out the Aquaman theme and the Groovy Ghoulies song that was playing in the background. And then the video is perfectly viewable now. So Warner Brothers owns the Fantastic Four cartoon from 1967 because they own Hanna-Barbera, and that's a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. So I had that problem before where I was going through comics and you could see the Fantastic Four cartoon playing on the TV behind me, and not sure how I fixed that. It might have been removing the sound, I don't know. Oh well. Weird. Okay, let's go through some Archie comics so I can get these boxes back up where they belong. I was going through all these Archie comics. If you go back several episodes back, let me turn this sound down more.
I know. I've never seen the general so scared or so dangerous.
There was a live-action Planet of the Apes TV series the year before this cartoon, and it was canceled, and I couldn't believe it was canceled. As a kid, I thought everyone loves Planet of the Apes, but and it was kind of like the Starsky and Hutch looking pair of astronauts, and it had Roddy McDowell. I guess maybe that the humans could talk, that way they could bring in guest stars of the week instead of being savages. Was because it was supposed to be in that, the apes take over, and then the humans kind of become slaves to the apes, and then eventually I guess they regress and become like animals where the apes have to hunt them down because they're eating their crops and stuff. I think that's what's supposed to have happened over those several thousand years. Because, in Battle for the Planet of the Apes, the humans are like slaves, and I think that's kind of the world that... So, I don't know. But then they had a Dr. Zaius in the TV series, and one in the 1968 Planet of the Apes, 1970, Beneath the Planet of the Apes. So that didn't make sense to me as a kid, but it's a different Dr. Zaius. But no, because they referred to, years before, there was another one like you, referring to Charlton Heston. But anyway, oh shit, the darn cat. What did he do? What the heck just happened? Where's the damn remote? Oh shit. Damn it. Where's the remote? Oh, the remote fell down here and the cat knocked it to Netflix, of all things. The evil Netflix. Shit. It was on commercials, wasn't it? Oh man, I got to do this quick. Damn, this darn cat does so much mischief. Yeah, I got to guard this remote because, and then I got to sit through this, stream on. Come on. Free TV. Ooh, I got back still during the commercials, but I missed a Frosted Flakes commercial from the 50s. Okay, cat, I'm not going to let you do that to me again. I hate Netflix. Okay. They've got buttons on the remote that instantly take you to certain things. One is Netflix. Okay. I went through this box. Jughead, yeah. That's box 3. Okay, so I need to go to box 4. Box 1, box 3, those are ready to go. Okay. Okay. Okay, Life with Archie is a comic title that's a little bit different. This is a great cover, but it's been messed up if you look closely enough. Some little girl traced over everything with is that a pencil? I don't know, but from a distance it looks good. Close up you can see the trace marks. Anyway, Life with Archie number something. 10 cents. It doesn't have the number. This is before they put the numbers on the cover. Here is Life with Archie number 39. Basically, the Munsters mixed with the Addams Family. Meet the Creeps. Hello, Archie. Hello, Veronica. Yeah, basically the Munsters, but then they have a butler kind of like Lurch, but not exactly. Okay, so you could definitely date that to 1964 or 65. Life with Archie tends to hit all the big fads. I don't know if you'd even call them fads. Crazes that happened in the 60s with the baby boomers. There was, people have often said the 3 Bs, the Beatles, Bond, and Batman. The Beatles, Bond, Batman were the 3 biggest cultural movements that affected a lot, that affected kids. And of course, kids, as you know, in the 60s were the majority of the population. The baby boom happened because of World War II. Guys came home from the war. The GI Bill was there to send them to college. They got a job. They settled down. And they all had kids right about the same time, from the middle of the 1940s through and all through the 50s. And those kids were the ones that were there at the inception of rock and roll, and through the 60s with the hippie movement and all of that. And but my point is, this issue 42 is reflective of the Batman craze. So Archie becomes a superhero. Yeah. So you got, and the monster, well, the monster craze was pretty darn big too. which is why you had the Munsters and Addams Family, and oh my gosh, the dog and cats are fighting here. Okay, here's another big craze from the 60s, the James Bond craze, which, and of course, James Bond spawned Man from U.N.C.L.E. on TV. In fact, Ian Fleming, the author of the James Bond novels, came up with the names for that's all he did for Man from U.N.C.L.E. He came up with the names Napoleon Solo and Ilya Kuryakin. Those were actually Ian Fleming's names. So the Man from U.N.C.L.E. isn't just a ripoff of James Bond. It's got its own street cred as being, Anyway, this is from January of '66, which is the same month that Batman premiered on television. So, hold on. This is Archie gets his lumps and bumps as a WPA secret agent in The Man from Riverdale. Notice they have Veronica's body chastely turned the other way, so it's not too much like the Bond movies. A double smash, two fast-moving book-length stories. They can't be two book-length stories, because then it would be two books, but anyway. So that tells me if this is issue 45 and this it's dated January 66, that means it really came out in November of 65. So this issue we just looked at, number 42, was before that. So I would say that this is not, although people at this point knew the Batman TV series was coming, no one had any idea how big it would be. So I think this is more reflective of the success Marvel was having at the time. And they've got this Iceman type character. I mean, this is more just, later it will be more obvious that Archie is reflecting the Batman craze by the sound effects that would appear when Batman punched people. So, why it's another copy of 45. Why would I buy that twice? Obviously, I forgot. There have been people, I hear on the Saturday morning show, Shannon's talking about how he has this sickness of multiple copy syndrome, where certain comics, you just can't ever leave them behind. They had such an impact on you as a kid that if you see them, you just got to buy them. And I guess I feel that way with Plot number 1. And but the ones that I have that feel, you never see them. But how many times have I seen Plot number 1 for sale at a store? Very rarely. And there's some that issue of Not Brand Eck, even though I was a toddler when it came out with the parodies of The Origin of Superman and The Origin of Fantastic Four, I love that. I have probably 6 copies of that. I can't leave it behind in a store if it's like there for $5. So I understand that. I first became acquainted with those 2 stories in a Marvel comic book called Crazy, which was Not Brand Eck reprints about a year before they started doing the magazine size Crazy. Okay, and then here's 49. Dang, what is that at the top? I never noticed that. Oh man. Why does it have like a, it's obvious that someone cut the tip off with scissors, but why? Anyway, it's The Man from Riverdale. Another slam bang issue. So it's there. See, Life with Archie is not going to be just like the typical Archie comics. This is the comic where they let their hair down. I was looking at this from a distance. I thought that he was shooting through his head, but that's just a piece of that's just a reflection in the ice apparently. But and also the trajectory of the bullet would be coming out here, right? I feel like I'm watching the Zapruder film here, but anyway. So, someone could easily Photoshop and alter that and make Archie shooting right through his head. But that will not be me. Someone do that, though. Okay, and then what is 50? Okay, now 50, we 100% know that the Batman series is now a hit, and that Archie being a superhero and everyone in Riverdale basically being a superhero is now reflective of the Batman TV series success. All the text on the cover, I think, is inspired by Marvel. All the hype. Man, they have the Mad Dr. Doom. That's 50. Here's another copy of 50. This one belonged to, what is that name? Saponi, right? It can't be. Cerrone, right? Tell me down in the chat, what name is that? It looks like Suponi, right? I can see right. Let's look at this comic. Record Riot, 60 Smash Songs. Oh, I keep wanting to take my glasses down to read it because I'm used to having glasses for distance and not needing them for close. But now that I've had the cataract surgery, I can see the distance, but I can't see close. So these are readers that I got at the supermarket. And then on the 23rd, I'll go in and get a prescription. June of 66. June of 66 is when the Batman theatrical movie came out. Premiered in Austin, Texas. But the whole thing is a legitimate superhero comic. It's not just that they're out trick-or-treating dressed as superheroes. They actually have powers. It's just pretty cool. So, with this channel going and these comics in your hand, you can kind of transport yourself. And Kevin from Gotham City Comics last night on the phone is asking me, are the commercials that they play during these shows time periods specific with the shows? And I said, well, sometimes, but like right now they just had some 60s toy commercials mixed with this mid-1970s Planet of the Apes cartoon. So they don't always get the time periods right. It's still just cool. It's a wonderful time machine. Number 51, Pop versus Crush. It's got the floating heads like you would see DC often did with the Justice League. Dr. Nose is clearly inspired by Ringo Starr there. So you've got...
We were taken by surprise, sir.
Oh, well, they're back to being secret agents. They're no longer superheroes. But, okay, so this has the Beatles. This has Bond, in that they're Man from U.N.C.L.E., James Bond kind of agents. And it has Batman in the giant sound effects. So this is capturing the three main fads of the time. Not fads, crazes. Because a fad is something that's around for a little bit and goes away. The Batman superhero thing stayed long enough that it was, well, I don't know. What is really the definition? The Beatles are still around. James Bond, they still make the movies, and I wouldn't call any of that fads. This fad is something that comes along and is forgotten, like Pogs, or Beanie Babies, or soon to happen. My wife and I always called them embryos, but other people call them Funko Pops. and that was always what we always called them. And then all of a sudden, I started saying Funko Pops. They bent me over to it. I but we always just called them the little embryo dolls because they look like embryos. Anyway, they're going quick. I think Kevin's down to less than 10 in his store. He's trying to get rid of those things as quickly as possible. And there was maybe one in every 500 Funko Pops that was interesting. I probably have 20 Funko Pops that I got just because, man, it's like the 60s Addams Family or it's Universal Monsters. I'll show you what I have. I'm not too embarrassed to admit it. I'm not one of these people that when new wave music came along that said, well, I never listened to disco. And they just hide the fact that they've got all these disco records in the back of their... Okay, here's number 52. This one's got some condition issues with a crease. It's also got a crease. It's almost like someone folded this up in this way and that way. But it presents well, as all the comic book people seem to say. Anyway, it's readable. I've never seen another copy for sale, so therefore I bought it. How could you not buy this with this cover? I can't say, I'll just wait for another one in the same condition. I see this comic all the time. No, I don't. Maybe it's on mycomicshop.com, but you see, mycomicshop.com, Lone Star Comics, was my local comic store since the beginning of 6th grade. No, the summer between 6th grade and 7th grade, Lone Star Comics opens in my town, Arlington, Texas. And I went through all their back issue stock all the time, and I got all the cool stuff I could that I could afford. But at a certain point, it could have been in the 90s, all of a sudden all the back issue boxes disappeared. And they went to all online sales. And I didn't like that because I remember very often at Lone Star Comics, I'd pull a comic out and it would look fine, and then I'd feel the waves. And, this one's had moisture damage, and then I'd put it back. And I just thought, well, in looking at a picture online, I'm not going to be able to tell that moisture damage is there. I could take a picture of this, and a picture would hide the creases that are in it. But I noticed that mycomicshop.com, which is always lists moisture damage, and they have it water damage, and they have it on almost every comic I look at has water damage. And then they measure the spine splits, and increasingly I'm finding I look up comics and they don't have a picture available because the comic is something that they figure no one will ever want, and it's just not enough time in the day to take a picture of something like Baby Snooks or something that they figure will sit there for 10 years before someone will buy it. And it's like, then you realize my tastes are so weird and obscure that nobody cares to take pictures of them. Anyway. Wait, didn't I just see this one? What the heck? That's 52. Oh, okay. I already showed you this one. 51, 52. 54. Okay, they're still doing the James Bond thing, the Man from U.N.C.L.E. thing. So this is just basically like a S.H.I.E.L.D. comic, but with the Archie characters. It's really a fascinating juxtaposition of, I think I've never used the word juxtaposition out loud in my life, but it's a fascinating combination. Two great things. Peanut butter and you got your chocolate and my peanut butter. You got your secret agents in my Archie comic. It's like, that's disgusting. Oh no, it tastes good. Two great tastes that are great together. Oh wow, look at this beautiful red cover, 55. I need to get filling my holes in this run, man. Oh, it's the Monster Squad. That was the same year, or was it the year after? Monster Squad might have been. No, Monster Squad. Return to the Planet of the Apes was the 75-76 school year, and Monster Squad came along the 76-77 school year when I was in 6th grade. A few years later, in the 80s, there was a theatrical movie called Monster Squad that was very similar. This one, the guy Fred Grandy that plays the human leader of the Monster Squad later became a senator or something. I forget. You can Google that and see. Man, okay, that's 55. 56. Okay, so it's still secret agents, but with a superhero mixture. Oh, look, see, they play Super 6 on here. But I better let me pause for a second. Yeah, Super 6 was also part of the cartoons inspired by the Batman series. It was a good cartoon, Super 6. Almost completely forgotten now. But a lot of this stuff, if you don't have a Roku, if you can't get this channel, almost all this stuff is on YouTube. You can watch. I'm sure someone's got a playlist. I'm positive someone has a playlist of Super 6 episodes. Probably the same thing with Monster Squad. I think maybe this channel, maybe someone in their basement, or this may be run out of someone's spare bedroom, and they just have a computer and they could be just pulling stuff off YouTube. Because Hot TV, History of Television TV, used to be on, at least it used to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I know that the vintage cartoons they were showing, where they were just pulling the prints right off of YouTube. 58. Look at that, man. How often do you see Archie holding a gun that looks like it's right out of Lost in Space? This is just so wonderful. Everything's great about these Life with Archie comics. 58. 61. I have a lot of these. Here's 62. Oh, look at that, man. This is a great cover. They should do a facsimile of this. This is years before. Well, it is the Archies. Look, there's the Archie's name. But this is before the cartoon. So the Archies with that logo was established before the cartoon. But look how ultra-violent they're being. Well, I guess they're bad guys. They're punching them. Here, the Archies look kind of more like the monkeys with those red shirts on. I should turn that into a song on Suno. They have the lyrics to an Archie's song. In fact, they do that often in the comic. The Archies will be playing and they'll have the words to a song, but it's not a real song. But now with Suno, I could just type in the words from the comic book and create a real Archie's song. You just got to type in 1969, bubblegum pop, just boy, female and male singers, alternate, you can, and it'll pull up that exact Archie's sound. And you'll have a song from another dimension, from beyond the 7th dimension. Okay, so 62, but by issue 77, still in the Silver Age, the 12 cent era, it's back. It's like Archie Adventures. It's like Archie Outside of Riverdale, but no longer do you have the insanity of Archie as a secret agent or a superhero. So this is kind of a letdown. That brief time period of 1966, right around there, 65, 66, with Life with Archie, was a spectacularly loony time. But then that cover was a little boring. But by 78, okay, well, we don't have the secret agents, but now we've got Jughead as a flower child, barefoot, and you got these great styles, and it's like, I wonder why girls go for wild, weird get-ups. Yeah, why can't they be more conservative like us? So it reflects these insane pop art outfits that I guess were being shown in the women's fashion magazines. I doubt they were ever worn. Oh, I have 2 copies of that one. Obviously, that sometimes a cover is just so spectacular, or I'm in a store and it's like, do I own this one? What if I don't own this and I just think I do, and then I have to come back, so you wind up getting it. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, what is being reflected here? There was a brief, because of the release of Bonnie and Clyde in 1967, it was a big hit. The fashions of the 20s and 30s came into vogue. That was a fad. That was a brief fad. Yeah. That was a weird deal because, let's see. That Bonnie and Clyde, the real Bonnie and Clyde, did their thing 30 years before that movie came out. So that would be like, let's see, today's 2025, 15, 5. Let's say there was a pair of killers back in the mid-1990s, and they would indiscriminately kill people, and then someone, and they were not that attractive really, but they were, boy and girl team. And let's say someone made a movie today and shows the most glamorous movie stars in Hollywood to play them. And then when they're being chased by the police, you've got this upbeat bluegrass music playing. And you make it really bloody, like much more bloody than movies normally are. The thing is, there are people around now like us that were around in the 1990s, and there were people that were relatives of the people that Bonnie and Clyde killed still around in 1967, and so there was some backlash. I love the movie. I'm not knocking Bonnie and Clyde, but some people questioned. Oh, and then they would point out that Bonnie and Clyde were not viewed as folk heroes, and they weren't beloved by the populace like, say, Dillinger was. Some of the gangsters back then were loved. John Dillinger was not, well, people, there were even Tijuana Bibles about John Dillinger. When John Dillinger was gunned down outside of a movie theater, remember, he had this girl that was dressed in red, and she wore red, so the police, she would already talk to the police, so we'll be coming out of this theater at this time, I'll be wearing reds, you'll be, and they gunned down John Dillinger. There were women that came and dipped their handkerchiefs in his blood as a souvenir that was on the street, so. But the thing about Dillinger, when he robbed a bank, he did not shoot people indiscriminately. He did not hurt innocent people. Bonnie and Clyde would blast people just that got in the way. So therefore they were not, because back then, when the banks have taken everything from people, some people just figured, stick it to the banks. You're my hero for doing that, But if you're taking out regular people, then they got bothered by that. But anyway. So, okay, then you kind of got into this, yeesh, look at that horrible stain there. That's disgusting. I probably got this for 50 cents, but this is another cover that just doesn't really grab you. The back cover is pretty spectacular, man. I mean, it's, ugh. I didn't even want to touch that one. Oh, look, I've got a decent copy without the stain. Okay. And then you get that was issue 82, but they make up for it the next month with what one of the greatest covers you've ever seen, with the red background and the band playing. I like to look at the bands and see if the band is inspired by any particular band. And they're the fire or something. But anyway, look at the outfits they're wearing. Sorry, it's in a mylight. In the early 80s, mylights were invented. I think that's what happened. Yeah, and I put all my comics in mylights, or as many as I could. I got them at Lone Star Comics. And all the bags, that's been 40 years. And these bags have held up. There's no wrinkling. There's no splitting. Those bags from that time period were amazing. I hear people talk about mylights now, how they split, and I don't know. Okay. Here's number 90. By this point, the TV show was on the air. Because you see, that's the image from, that's the standard image you see of the Archies there. So now with Life with Archie, I guess they're covering the band here. Here's a really beat up copy. Okay. Dune Buggy Racing 101. January 1971, issue 105. The Archies are playing, and these girls are mobbing Archie for an autograph. Yeah, okay. This is a good time period when the Archies are big. Here's 111 playing some festival. Just like to look at the crowd. Now look at that guy there that has the weird Mickey Mouse on the back of his shirt, his sweatshirt. We got people falling out of the trees trying to watch the Archies. The music of the Archies was really good. Now the Archies was a guy named Ron Dante. He was the Archies, and then there were some girl backup singers, but he played all the instruments. He did everything. Ron Dante. 113. Now here's a girl band coming into town. Look at that. Cotton Flubber Note. Hey, like Wowsville girls, Cotton Flubber Note is coming to town. I wonder if when they're... Do I have more than one copy of this? I do. In fact, I made a poster for a girl band once, a real girl band, where I used this, I stole this image and I changed the banner from Cotton Flubber Note to the name of their band. A band you never heard of, but anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so looks like I might have 3 copies of this issue. Let me open it up, because if Cotton Flubber Note actually they show the songs they're singing, if they have lyrics, then I can make a Cotton Flubber Note song. I can, with my amazing Suno.com abilities, I can create a show, I can create a song for this mythical band. I pulled this one out because this one is in the worst condition of the 3. Maybe there's 4, I don't know. And then the inside front cover is almost exactly the same. What are the differences? Is it exactly? No. Betty's hand is up at her mouth. Here it's down. That's wild. Just very Minor changes. Oh, Veronica's hands are clasped together. Here they're kind of apart. You could kind of probably combine these two and create Marvel superheroes animation where it's like, you know. But okay. Cotton Flubber Note. I did a song. It's on that last radio show I did, if you tune it in. See this that says, "Help, I need lovin'." I created a real song that goes with that patch, "Help, I need lovin'." So now, that one Frank Zappa's already done, "Don't Eat Yellow Snow," so that would... U.S. Garbage Collector. Maybe that would be a good name for a song, huh? So that you can get inspiration in some of the wildest places. U.S. Drinking Team. I think that Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band has been used, but I did one. There's a poster they would often sell, "War is not healthy for children and other living things," and I took that and I turned that into a song. It came out quite well. Here's something you'll never see anymore. Savage. The bike tire with guts. Can you imagine the American made? Can you imagine the outcry if someone did that today? And here's an exact representation of what sea monkeys look like. That fishbowl, that means that sea monkeys are probably about this tall. They have a family unit. The girl sea monkey kind of has a flip hairdo, and they just kind of look like people without clothes with tails, as opposed to tiny little brine shrimp, I believe they were. Come on, Cotton Flubber Note. Oh no, it's Jonathan Harris, man. I don't know. Oh, my wife's calling me. Let me go see what's up with her. Okay, I'm gonna pause the camera. Okay. Oh man, what time is it? Hold on. Okay, so we were looking at an imaginary band called Cotton Flubber Note. I'm suspecting they're going to have some fake lyrics that they're going to be singing in this comic, but I haven't looked at the interior of this comic since probably about 1992, which is about the time that I did that band flyer. I was telling you about a band called Lucifer. I think they're Swedish, German. They're pretty great. It's like a band from the early 70s, and then I see that it's a girl lead singer and some guys playing, and then I see this live show and it's an all-girl band. It's like, and it's obviously the same lead singer. She get rid of the guys, and anyway, I don't know, but it's a new band that I don't hate, and that's doesn't happen very often. Oh, look at this, the Zoomer Boomer. 2 generations. One Zoomer Boomer and one Zoomer Boomer motor are all you need for spectacular fun and excitement. It looks like you pump up maybe with air these vehicles. This is a toy I do not ever... The greatest toy trucks in the world. I don't remember this toy at all. At all. That Hawaiian Punch ads that they don't have anymore. Would you like a nice Hawaiian Punch? Fruit juicy red? Nope. Apple red. Great. Sunshine orange. Lemon pink pineapple. Now very berry. Sure, pal. I guess now that I remember these Kennedy half dollars. It took me many years to realize, okay, this is a tourist, and he's a Hawaiian guy, And he just doesn't like tourists, is what's going on. And he punches them in the face in every commercial. That's, did you ever figure that out as a kid watching those? Well, here they are putting up their sign, Cotton in Concert. Would you go see that band? Would you see this band? The answer is yes. Let's see. Okay, do they show Cotton Flubber Note playing? Come on, Cotton Flubber Note. They're the evil, uh-oh. Sabrina's getting involved. I think Sabrina's causing the band to not be able to play, maybe. Oh, their bus gets turned around, and then they're getting arrested before they could ever perform and give me their lyrics. So she saved the day for the Archies and rescued them from an all-girl band that might actually appeal to people more. Yeah. Well, que lástima. Oh my gosh. Well, there are those who believe that perhaps the president of Venezuela cut a deal and that was all kind of, hey, rescue me and I'll inform on what all the bad stuff that's been happening. And they say they've stolen elections in 91 countries through we shouldn't talk about that on YouTube, including this one. Okay. All right. Then they have, what a great cover. Archie, I'm frightened. You have reason to be. I don't know how people aren't into Archie comics. I don't know, man. I only buy the key issues with the naughty covers, the ones where there's double meaning. I have 2 copies of that issue.
That's it. This wonderful country's greatest honor award.
122. He's the Phantom Scribbler. He must be a graffiti artist. He's creating havoc at Riverdale High School. That's the 20-cent era. Here's another copy of the same one. Why aren't we looking inside since it's not bagged and boarded?
It's going to take a lifetime more of good deeds before the world is ready to accept the likes of us.
I wonder what this Raquel Welch pillow looked like.
What does that mean? It means we won't be there.
There's the Sea Monkeys being sold through. Sea Monkeys being sold through a different company. Kevin, if you're watching, this werewolf mask, is that one of the this rubber mask is so grotesque that it is sure to shake up the whole neighborhood. Be the werewolf that growls again. Oh shit. I gotta get ready for the next show. Because I don't know what's coming up next. It might be something horrible, but more than likely it isn't. Didn't have time to finalize the disc. I'll finalize it later. Put it here. Okay. So it's called Sunday Tuneback. Oh shit! It's the 1978 Fantastic Four cartoon. Damn. You never see that. I think they have episodes on Internet Archive, but wow, am I going to get a copyright claim for this playing in the background? I don't know. This is the one that Jack Kirby did the designs for, but it doesn't have the Human Torch. That was what was disappointing. It had Herbie the robot. Anyway. Well, we'll find out if I get a copyright claim on this playing in the background, but this is not going to be... Who did this? Was this Hanna-Barbera? No, was it Filmation? There's no way they have rights to that. This is a completely bootleg channel, which I love the channel, but it's... And then let's see, Beanie and Cecil's going to be on today at 10:30. I see that. I need to make my own schedule and write down what's on at what time, because the schedule is woefully inadequate. Okay. I mean, you can tell that some issues are more interesting than others in Life with Archie. 128, it's a biker gang, so that's interesting. How often do you see a biker gang drawn in the Archie house style? My name is Wanda. Want to ride with me? Who's the new cat making a play for Big Wheels Chick? I don't know, but I'm going to find out right now. And the ad on the back is for the choppers. No, the chop cycles. Oh my goodness. The predicaments Archie gets into. This is ad for the for the Bonanza action figures. I don't know, they didn't call them action figures back then. I guess they didn't call them dolls either. Yeah, I don't know what you'd call them. 132. There's an ad showing methodically loading up a cap gun.
You are watching a demonstration of the most authentic cap pistol in the world.
Yeah, I mean, is this time period specific to the 1978 Fantastic Four cartoon? No, but it's spectacular. Yeah, they didn't advertise Bonanza dolls during that Fantastic Four show either. Okay, they're trying to get Chuck to be the lead singer of the Archies here. I wonder why. Does Archie have laryngitis? Face it, Chuck, they want you to sing. But I'm no singer. The public says you are. Listen to them. That's 139. Still in the 20-cent era. We're in the 25-cent era now with issue 154. It's not as interesting looking to me, but see, as the 70s move on, it becomes more... Okay. I'm looking for lyrics. Help, I need lovin'. I already did that. Kiss me, you'll love it. That could be a song. I'm the real thing. Love spreads germs. Oh man, why I can't read with it. What the hell does that say? Oh, love spreads germs. Where is it? Love spreads germs, quick make me sick. I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. So The Godfather was out by this point. Love me, squeeze me, take me home. Fragile, handle with love and care. I care, why don't you? Which of these would make good? Says stop. I love it. My gosh, hang in there. In case of emergency, give me a kiss. Dog tags. I don't think guys in the army should wear those dog tags. I think they'd get in trouble. 154. I just noticing on the one I just showed you, the Tarzan and Jane action going on at the top there. Oh, the thing, I forgot how the thing looked in this cartoon. He sounds more like that guy in the new movie. Just sounded too mellow. And I'm cooking dinner. You know, it's like, no, I don't smoke cigars. No, I don't really say it's clobbering time. That's just in the cartoons. You know, it's like, come on. And yes, I completely clothed. I'm not going to walk around in just a swimsuit. I'm the thing. I wouldn't, you know, it was kind of, he was not the rough and tumble thing from the comics. So, okay, well, Life with Archie, back cover is more interesting. They should have done an Archie and Jughead version of He-Man and Skeletor. Okay, now we get into a great comic, The Adventures of Little Archie. This is something that I remember, you know, of all the Disney comics, you know, the collectors love the Uncle Scrooge comics. Those are the ones that are cherished. And in Archie, there are a lot of people that really love the Little Archie stories. And when Little Archie started, it was in this giant size. This is the 16th issue. I need to get more of these. Why am I not looking for Little Archie? I've been on a Sugar and Spike DC Comics kick lately. Here's the Adventures of Little Archie, issue 18. I always thought when I retire, I'll just sit and read these all day. No one can retire. Little Archie in Animal Land, number 19. The Adventures of Little Archie, issue 36. It's giant size again. Here's the 40th issue. Oh. This is the Batman influence in Little Archie. And I need to upgrade this issue, but look at that. Look at this. Zap pow, before your eyes, Little Archie becomes the mighty little pure heart, the powerful. The bad guys can't believe it, but you will in this fab mag. So these bad guys, some of them look like members of the Legion of Superheroes. He looks like, what does he look like? Is it Enemy Ace or the Phantom Eagle, or there's somebody he looks like? Yeah. Little Archie, number 40. I apparently it was $15, but I think I got it half price. Not sure. Not that this isn't worth $15. I'm not trying to excuse myself. But. Here's Little Archie 41. Who is it that he's hitting here? Little Pure Heart, Little Pure Heart, the powerful, appears again for thrills, spills, and chills to battle the mad music maker. So he's hitting a guy with a guitar on the head. It looks kind of like Dave Clark from the Dave Clark 5, a little bit. 47th issue. There's that number I love so much. What time is it that the Fantastic Four cartoon comes on? Looks like it comes on at 8:30 in the morning on Sundays. This cartoon is not on YouTube, 100% not. I think it was on Internet Archive, but I'm having trouble beaming Internet Archive to my recorder. It won't beam from my phone anymore for some reason. I've had that problem for a few months. Issue 49. 51, it's the Little Archies. So apparently their band was the Little Archies, and then it became the Archies. Another copy of 51. This stuff just makes me really happy. 52, still Little Archies. This great, great stuff. 53. They were always just these giant-sized issues. Okay, here's one that's not bagged and boarded, issue 56. And let's see. November of 69. He likes to hit people on the head with guitars, man. It's like they're the prototypes of punk rock, man. It's like the look you want when you want it. You show up in third grade with different beards every day. I guess the teacher would make you take it off. Archie, giant size, freak out. He was committed to the mental institution when he got these 5 comics. He freaked out, man. Okay, 56. I had always heard the story they didn't have the Human Torch in this because they were afraid little kids would set themselves on fire. But then I heard, well, no, the Human Torch was under option to a film studio. In 1978, really? I don't know about that. Do you really believe that story that someone had put out an option on the Human Torch when superhero movies were not a big deal? Here's 63. Oh, here's another copy of 63, not bagged and boarded. Let's take a look inside. This one's in very nice condition. Look at the slick gloss there. Christmas was always a wonderful time in Archie Comics. That's how Reed Richards should sound. That's how Sue Storm should sound. 65. 69. Ooh. Want to visit a house of monsters? Read Monster Manor. Amazing. Let's look at Monster Manor. I remember this ad. Would you like to draw comics? Come on, where's the monsters? Oh, look at that. That's pretty great. For a second, it looks like he's got Jim Kirk's outfit on. It looks like that's a Starfleet symbol. Oh, I hated Herbie the Robot. Look at that, man. Look how evil they drew Sabrina there, man. She never really looks like that. And whatever artist did this ad made her look very, that's great. Ooh, the Dingalings. I've seen commercials for them. In fact, I think they're running a commercial for the Dingalings on this throwback TV channel a little bit earlier. Um, I'm not being paid by the throwback TV channel. I just want to convey This is, and Friar Tuck was the one that told me. I didn't discover this channel. I never would have found it in a million years. But that's fantastic. Thank you, Friar Tuck. Because Horror Mike on Friday nights, he does a show where he talks about all the new movies and things available on Tubi TV. And it's like, man, is this guy getting paid by Tubi TV? He isn't, but it's like, amazing. Okay, so that's number 69.
Sunday mornings at 6 on the Throwback Television Network.
Number 72. Oh, this is from the collection of Shannon Link. This was sent to me as a present not long ago. Oh, I have another copy of it. That's all right. It's good to have two copies. That's Shannon's philosophy. Here's 73. Look at that, man. It's like a Tales from the Crypt cover. The days of selling toy guns to kids on Saturday morning are gone. It's up to you to decide whether you think that's a good thing. This is a copy I bought when I was a kid. This is my childhood copy of that. Yeah, I think by this point I was clued in that little Archie was cool. Unfortunately, it's in the era of the Mark of the Beast. This is when Star Trek was coming out. Ah, the marketing campaign for G.I. Joe in 1965. Yeah, G.I. Joe. Oh, another copy, the same one. Another copy. I mean, just a... Yeah, we're getting into the boring era. Everything was boring. Yeah, we don't need to see these. Here's one. Veronica's shrinking. She's shrinking and being carried away by these little weird guys look like Roman soldiers. What is that? Is it called DMT? There's some weird drug that hipsters used to take, and everyone that took it would see these little elves. Everyone that took it would see these elves, little tiny people that would look up and be kind of annoyed that you were able to see them. And some people say, well, that's where the elves, the little people and mythology, legend come from. That maybe they're really just across the dimensional mist. They're actually there, and that these people that took that stupid drug were able to see them. I don't know. I've heard about that. They call them worker elves, and they're all working on machines, and then people see them and they're annoyed. I don't know. Little Archie mystery. Everybody's drawn in a realistic style except for Archie, and Archie had gigantic kind of rockabilly hair back then. This is 12-cent era. Okay, now we move into a really cool comic, Archie's Madhouse. This was a weird comic in that what they're doing with Madhouse is we saw how Archie capitalized on the Beatles and James Bond, Man from Uncle, Batman, but this comic there were other things. The biggest selling comic book in the 1960s was Mad Magazine. So it wasn't really the Marvel age of comics, someone said. It was the EC age of comics. We just didn't realize it. So this is Madhouse. It started as a Mad imitation, but it also has a lot of monster content in it. It's that's what they're up to with this. Or just really weird stuff. The magazine for teenage eggheads. That's February of 1961. This is a more fantastical comic. Who's the poor fish, Betty? Here's an early, this might be the third appearance of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Very early appearance. Run right out and get a box of these energy packed. Oh no, not again. She's overeating. That's, and here, issue 42, you definitely see the Harvey Kurtzman Mad influence in the border that Mad had in the early issues of the magazine. When Mad turned from a comic book into a magazine, it had this border. Plop would have it too in the early 70s when Plop was designed as a throwback to the EC Mad comic, like a horror humor comic. One of my favorite comics. So, and I guess maybe Clyde is there. Alfred Newman, possibly. That's 42. 44. Somebody bought this for a nickel at a garage sale at some date in the far past. 48. The Jetsons feel there. Here's 60. There's a book out that is the best of Madhouse. I can show it to you in a minute if I remember. Put up by Craig Yo. I dig your service, Earthman, but you don't talk much, do you? Okay, now it's no longer Archie's Madhouse. Okay, yeah, Clyde is there, Alfred Newman. It says Clyde did it. Hey, like this ish is wild. They dropped the Archie reference, although you still see it's an Archie comic here. And they're getting more psychedelic. Notice the border is psychedelic now. And we're dealing with hippie protesters now. And some big little shop of horrors kind of plant. Oh man, it's eating people. And it's spitting out somebody's shoes and glasses. It's better for these hippies just to walk around naked like in Woodstock, and then the clothing won't have to be spit out. Okay, so that's 61. Now, we're up to 63. This is probably about 1967, I would think. Hey, like this ish is groovy. So they're playing up the hippie humor. Here's another copy of 63. You don't need to see it twice. Here's 64. Hey, like this ish is out of sight. Now we're up to February 1969, number 66. Now they've changed the name from Madhouse. It was Archie's Madhouse, then it became Madhouse. Now it's Madhouse Mad Jokes. So they got mad in there twice. But mad, the little dash hyphen, I guess you'd say mad. Crazy mad. Madhouse Mad Jokes. Should just be Archie's Psychedelic Freakout. Okay, so, Archie's series goes mad, it says there. All right, there. Then, okay. It's okay, now it's Madhouse Mad. Notice that the logo now has the Archie style lettering. Oh, she's going under the blanket there. Says it's all new. Little hippie says that, and then there's some hippie laughing. Okay, now we see that there's an actual band called the Madhouse Mads. So, yeah. That looks like Veronica, but it isn't. Her name is Fran the Fan, which is why they've got that written on her shirt. So she's a girl that follows the band, often known as a groupie, and the band is named here. Clyde did it. Oh, he's the guy that has been their mascot up in the. Clyde did it. Dippy did it. Dick did it. And Dan did it. They must be 4 brothers in this band. See there? I haven't read these in decades, so it's all 68. Let's see how long in 69, the comic is now still following this band. So probably the Archies, there's the Archies dancing to the sound of this band. So I think what they're hoping is that we had a comic about the Archies, then Filmation did a cartoon and had the biggest hit in 1969 was Sugar Sugar. So I think they thought, well, let's come up with some more band names, and maybe we'll have some more, get some more money from that. But see, there's Jughead eating. Okay, so they're a band that exists in Archie's universe. Oh, I just saw a copy of this last night on Facebook, and so I looked it up on mycomicshop.com. They didn't have it, and I thought, man, I've got to get a copy of Madhouse Glads number 80, and here I have a copy. I can't believe it, man. So between 69, when it's Madhouse Mad Jokes, by 80 it becomes Madhouse Glads. And I'm taking some snapshots of Fran and her new set of threads. That's Fran the Fan, the girl that follows the band around. Now, wow, Dick, a photo of Fran in hot pants is not a snapshot, it's an exposure. So anyway, this is one of those spectacular Archie covers. The date stamp's put right there on her leg. July the 13th. Someone sold this at a garage sale for 12 cents, basically half price. There's that ad again. Looking to see if there's some new song suggestions. Wonder if the Madhouse Mads, if they show words that they sang while they're up on stage. Ooh, now the SSP Racers. That was, I think I have one right over there. Yeah, the Archies appear in this comic. What in the name of heck is that? Is that a poster of Spiro Agnew? Who's that supposed to be on the wall? It doesn't look like. Seems odd. Okay, I wonder what cartoon's going to come on next. If you haven't heard any sound in the background, that means I had to go back in and edit out all the sound. I have no idea this is, wow. How did this wind up here? Oh. Okay, for a brief. This is so weird. 80, okay, so 96, Madhouse completely changes into a horror comic. Like how is this a code-approved comic? A demon and a topless girl, a demon kiss. The spectacular Gray Morrow. Obviously, that's Gray Morrow art. Yes, 100%. Oh, wow. They're showing the Marvel superheroes. I got to turn the sound down. Oh, they're actually showing the theme song. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm glad I'm recording this, but I definitely can't have the sound playing. I've got to turn the sound down because this will get me in trouble. Okay, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. This is I can't believe they're getting away with this. This is great. This is the original opening that they for some stations when they bought the Marvel superhero show in '66, September of '66, they would just air the like Captain America separately, or they'd show them individually. Like I remember seeing the Hulk. They'd have one episode a day, and it's just a little 6-minute cartoon, or if even that. But if say there, it looks like they're showing the Hulk first. So but what's the quality? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so Hulk and the Ringmaster. Damn, this is a good channel. Who else is going to give you this amount of entertainment on a Sunday morning? Okay, what was I looking at? Okay, Madhouse. And by the... I would say this is probably from about 1976. Let's say January 76. Let's get... No, it says August. Well, let's see if it is 76. 75. Yeah, this is definitely a horror humor comic by this point is what they're up to. And some of these might be reprints from the 60s. I'm not sure. Nah, I don't know. So that's 98. But it's definitely an interesting comic that just changed its... it just remade itself so many times. This is 99. Look at this. It's kind of interesting the way this, he's mobbed by all these girls on the beach, and then you've got the sea monkeys, and it's kind of like, if you look at it, it's like one big picture. The sea monkeys are sitting there. I don't know, it's just me, or can you imagine this picture, and this picture is like a 2-page spread? I just had a brilliant idea. I'm going to do a painting of these sea monkeys, like a big painting of them, with the castle in the background. I'm going to do that, man. Fantastic. What a brilliant idea. I got to get back into painting, man. Now that as soon as I get my reading glasses. Oh, interesting. It's Francis Stein. It's no one's ever made an action figure out of this, probably because no one knows this character exists. Look at that, man. 100% cooler than John Byrne's She-Hulk. Look at that, man. Francis Stein. Yeah, look at that, man. It's just like Veronica mixed with Frankenstein. This is a crazy comic. If you see this in a dollar bin, Madhouse Comics, Madhouse, anything that says Madhouse from the Archie imprint, you got to pick it up. No matter what era. See, because now this little ghoul guy, it's just like they're showing you, well, this comic book is insane. Little superhero parody. Okay, I'm looking for song titles from here. Do Unto Others, Then Split. That might be. Pinball Wizard's been done, obviously. Let's Boogie. What does that say? Love Me, Squeeze Me. What? I can't read that, man. What's wrong with me? What is that saying? This little guy looks like Dopey. Love me, squeeze me. What does that say there? I can't read it. Hold on. Maybe I'll be able to read it on my big screen TV later. Well. There's the dog tags ad again. Police nightstick. There must be a better way to earn a living, says Maduro. Sensational $1 perfume offer. And obviously it's after Jaws came out, because impossible, not for the super bodybuilding system. Man alive, we got Marvel superheroes cartoons. Can you spot the 10 serious errors in this picture? What does number 5 say? Girl doing homework. I thought there was going to be some joke like that. Girl doing homework is not eating snacks. That's the mistake there. That's, I guess girls wouldn't be offended by that. But if it said, girl is reading book, girls can't read, then that would be probably offensive. 103. What would you assume? That 80% of the people reading this comic would be girls? I mean, obviously, I was a guy buying this comic, but I think I might be in a small minority with that. What was that? A parody of the Twilight Zone? Yeah, it's the Yech Zone. There's Rod Serling there. Or the Archie Universe version of Rod Serling. Okay, I've got a werewolf cover here with issue number 104. Last Frontier Comics. Do you have copies of Little Archie or Madhouse? This art's a little bit different from the typical Archie style. Wow. Enter the 1976 Popsicle Contest. 50 years ago. We're now in the 250th birthday of the country. And this is when King Kong was coming out, the remake of King Kong. They made a big deal publicizing the movie. This would have been 6th grade. Unfortunately, it just didn't have the magic. February of 77, so this would have been out in December of 76, which is the month that King Kong came out. Yeah. Didn't have all the dinosaurs. It didn't have the charm of the 1933. Here's Archie's Madhouse Annual number 3. I always put annuals at the back of a run of comics. Here's annual number 6. Here's Madhouse Annual number 8. Oh, this came from Collected Comics, which is a good comic store if you're ever in Fort Worth, Texas. Fortunately, I discovered it not long before I moved away from that area. This is The Mighty Crusaders, which is an Archie comic, although there's nothing on it to indicate that. I think they were afraid to write that on there because there are boys that think that Archie comics are for girls, and so therefore they hide the fact that it's an Archie comic, and it's good. Good stuff. Monster-sized monsters. Indeed. Then here's one from, I would guess, the 80s. Yeah, He-Man ad. He-Man started, what, about 1985? Am I correct in that? Why is it 84? That's what the art looks like inside. Yeah, these are commonly found in dollar bins, or at least they used to be. I don't know if they still are. I know nothing. This one is from a dollar bin, still in the same bag. Same with this one. They used this red circle imprint to hide that it was an Archie comic from boys. That's what they were doing. So anyway, I don't have a lot of these, but I mean, they're okay. At this point, they stopped being embarrassed and embraced Archie Adventure series. And that's the way it should be. You shouldn't be embarrassed of who you are, ladies and gentlemen. That's the moral of today's episode here on the Hotel Orloff. I have a lot more of these than I thought, and I have no idea why I'm showing them to you, because they're not really that interesting to look at, and they're in every dollar bin that you've ever gone through. Okay, so that's box 4 of Archie Comics. And Archie Comics box 5. Then I may be able to take all this stuff back to where it came from. Archie. Ooh, this is from a dollar bin. Actually, this may have been something that was being thrown away outside of a comic store in a pile, and they said, "Take me." I think that's what this was. This was something they couldn't even sell in a dollar bin. And it's a spinoff from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was published apparently by Archie for a while. I don't know anything about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it says TMNT presents Mighty Mutanimals. So it's, I remember seeing the very first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic, the first issue, Volume 1, first printing, on sale in Lone Star Comics. I remember exactly standing there thinking, and putting it back on the shelf. I said, well, this is just, some fans are trying to be funny. They think this is fan humor, and it's Teenage Mutant. Okay, they're trying to be like the X-Men and mix it in with Frank Miller's Ronin. So it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They just think, oh, turtles, that's funny. And of course, that comic's worth like $5 billion now. But you know, I buy what I like. I don't know what I bought on that same day, but I don't think I ever walked out of that store without something. Be interesting to know what comic book I bought that day instead of the first issue of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Here's Pep. This comic is its own distinctive style. I love when you're in a record store and they have the records that are for sale in the Archie universe. Elvis sings Beethoven, Lullaby, Rock and Roll. Francis Scott Key plays Music to Greet the Dawn by. Oh, by the dawn's early light, yeah. It's Marty's Record Mart. And, damn. I think, are those supposed to be records she's holding? I guess those are supposed to be records. For a minute, I thought they were reel-to-reel tapes. Oh, maybe they are, because she's got a reel-to-reel player. The nice man said we could listen to some records. Archie, bring the tape recorder. Oh, okay, those are records. Back then, they had listening booths, and you could sit in the booth and listen to the records and see if you liked the song, and then they had little private booths. My mother remembers that from when she was a little girl, and that would have been the 40s. Anyway, this is a 10-cent comic. This is the 50s. The capri pants going on there. Interesting. Pep tends to have more open space, I notice. The open space. I don't know why that is. Pep 157. Again, they have more kind of fantastical stories in this, but again, a lot of open space. I'm not knocking it, I'm just noticing, just making observations. Here's 166 of Pep. And it's a Mitch Miller joke. Okay. A jukebox cover, 167. Archiekins, let's play our song. Yes, Lambykins. Here it is, Love Me Lovely. That's not it. Our song is Strange Strangers. I've got to make songs with those titles. Strange Strangers and Love Me Lovely. Are you trying to tell me I don't know what our song is? Are you calling me a liar? I love when they give me material for Suno. Ooh, what a beautiful cover here. 174. I like the logo with the red, white, and blue logo. It's just a fantastic cover. Oh, man. Betty, I wouldn't dream of coming to the beach on this miserable day. What do you ever mean, Ronnie? It's the best day I've seen all year. Okay. Pep 188, a great cover. Veronica's saying, I accidentally wore mismatched socks to school and started the biggest fad in town. So apparently mismatched socks became popular for a while. That girl's really cool looking. And look at that hair there. Fantastic. That's the type hair. If the people that did that Fantastic Four movie that just came out a few months ago, that's the type hair they should have had on Sue Storm. Okay, Pep 189 from January of 66. Again, the month that Batman premiered on television. Of course, this comic would have been out a couple of months before that. So this would have been out around Thanksgiving of 65. Oh. 190, James Bond movies are so popular, they're having a James Bond party. And then Veronica's saying, Betty, the spies at my spy party are expected to steal secrets, not boyfriends. So they're supposed to dress up like characters out of James Bond movies. What a... I knew some people that did that. They had a James Bond party. That was just like 10, 15 years ago. I remember, a bunch of hipsters that I knew in Dallas. There was some rich guy that had a house that was all mid-century, and back by the pool, he had a real Big Boy statue from a Big Boy restaurant, and it was there holding the hamburger next to this pool and everything in the house looked like you were in 1957, all glamorous, and they had a James Bond party. But anyway, they've got Goldfinger Punch. Look how Betty's dressed. He's like a secret agent. She's a secret agent too, kind of like Agent 99, and she's a femme fatale there. What are they doing in the background? Oh, he's a bad guy with a bomb. He's like an anarchist. And then she's kind of like a beatnik spy chick. 190. Amazing. 199. We're having turtle races. Pep 200. Of all the places to run out of gas, right by a telephone booth. 204. Lacey's Department Store presents the Go-Go Fashion Show. So they've got a band performing. And Betty's saying, why would you rather go to Cranston's? They have the worst fashions in town. Because they have the grooviest band in town. 204. A Pep. Oh, same issue. Oh, they're running the Spider-Man cartoon now. First Hulk, then Spider-Man. Yeah, they're just running whatever the hell they want, man. Yeah, remember Tiny Tim? Archie's dressed as Tiny Tim for a talent show. This is Pep 226. I knew the guy that ran the Tiny Tim fan club. His name was Big Bucks Burnett out of Dallas, and he ran a record store named 14 Records. He ran the Tiny Tim fan club and the Mr. Ed fan club, and he had a big music festival called the Tiny Palooza, where he had Tiny Tim perform and a bunch of other cool bands. And then he had something called Ed Stock, which was a music festival in honor of Mr. Ed. He also had an 8-track museum in his store. He was a really interesting character. Why am I telling you this story? Oh, he brought Tiny Tim to town one time to Denton, Texas. I think at that time his store was in Denton. It was also in Dallas later. Anyway, Tiny Tim fell in love with, like, desperately in love with this friend of mine, with a girl that he knew, just a friend of his. And I forget what her name was, but he married Miss Vicky on the Tonight Show. Well, he called this girl Miss whatever her name was, and let's say her name is Betty, Miss Betty, and he just would talk on and on about her. I mean, she wasn't interested in him. He's decades and decades older than her. This would have been in the 80s, maybe around the turn of the decade, between 80s and 90s, and even if it was in his prime in the 60s, he wasn't necessarily the most attractive guy in the world. Anyway, he was just so desperately in love. It was his muse, and he would become obsessed. He was very obsessive. He was an interesting guy. Tiny Tim, 253. 271. Oh my gosh. This is a different rules for Monopoly here. You landed on my hotel, Archie. You owe me $600 or 6 kisses. Let me take a peek at those rules. I was wondering, there's a cover where they're just playing Monopoly? Okay, there had to be some weird twist to it there. Okay, 271. Oh, another band performing. This is 275. It's a 20-cent comic. I paid $2 for it. This is Madhouse Mads. It says, Ronnie, I thought you said my blind date was dark and handsome. Yes, when it's dark, he's handsome. This is her blind date. My goodness. How repulsive. Okay. That's $275. 276. Not bagged and boarded. Well, they have little Jinx comics in here. Oh, somebody found all the words in the Jughead word search. Anyway, fantastic. Archie 276. Archie 280, one of the famous beach covers. I'm sorry, not Archie, Pep 280. That's a completely different Sea Monkeys ad. I don't like it. I mean, I'm not used to that. That's a little too, I don't know. That's a little too creepy. They're too creepy. I think that's the right word. This must be a summer issue. Pep. 276, 280. Here's Pep 287. See, there's just a lot more. It seems like there's more of this blank space in these Pep comics. But maybe, oh, look at this one. That was 287. That was a weird throwback. Because, see, Pep 275 looks like this. And then this one looks more like a comic from the early 60s with that Archie series thing going on there. And that's 287. And this is only a few issues later, 293. And it's more back to the 70s look. But look at that. They're at a music festival. She's got all her stuff spread out. And she says, at a rock festival, we're free to leave the material world behind. Oh, another copy of the same issue. Yeah, there's that creepy sea monkey ad again. Okay, 293. 298. Oh, they got Josie and the Pussycats playing in the background. We're in the mid-70s now. 305. $342. So we have quite a few unbagged and boarded ones here. $343. She's talking about, it's the ultimate in status symbols, Betty. Colored snowballs. Oh, they're dipping them in maybe food coloring? It can't be paint. I don't think you'd want to get hit by a yellow snowball. Maybe I should make a song. Watch out for those yellow snowballs. Then it won't be a complete imitation of a Frank Zappa song. Okay, we're getting into a time period where they're not as interesting. It seems like whenever I say that, there's a Star Trek ad on the back. So that tells me that right about the time that the Star Trek movie came out, which was it was probably Christmas of 78, so that's basically 1979. That seems like about the time that a lot of the charm went away in comic books in general. Not just because I was getting older, just that they, this is good, but it's just not as good as those 60s ones we were looking at. It's just like they're more cookie cutter. And then sometimes there's an exception to that. And it's also the time that video games are starting to come in and crowd out interest in comics with kids. And looks like here's the last copy of Pep I have. And then I think I won this as part of a contest from Captain Strangeliffe, this Pop's Chocolate Shop of Horrors. I think he probably ordered it and then realized that it's just a cover, basically. The interior of this stuff is, well, I'll show you what a modern Archie comic looks like. And this is part of the Archie Horror series. It just looks like that, just like every other comic that's out. It doesn't have that Archie house style charm. It's like, well, then why read an Archie comic if it doesn't look like an Archie comic? And I guess because no one cared about Archie anymore and they wanted to get a new fan base, but I just don't know how that can ever really happen. I don't see kids ever going back to comics. I don't see this TikTok generation ever caring at all. I just don't think it's going to happen. But I've been wrong before. Where the hell was... Oh, there I am. Okay. Okay, then there's this comic, Reggie and Me. Number 23. And they got the superhero stuff going on here, so this probably dates to about 66, 67. January of 7, that was number 23. We're now at number 46. We're a while further along. And, man, I guess I don't have many Reggie and Me comics, because now we're up to issue 109. And then this is Reggie's Wise Guy Jokes, which is a different title. This one I've had since childhood. This is my childhood copy here, because it's in this My Light. And all the comics that I had at that time period when My Lights first came out, those are all in My Lights, I think now, mostly. There's another Reggie's Wise Guy Jokes. And 51. Again, when Star Trek comes in, it's... This ugly mess of a comic I got from a dollar bin. It's supposed to look like a composition book, Riverdale High. This is probably from the 90s or some... I don't know when. What now? Archie salutes Artist of the Month, Gene Colan. I don't know what they're talking. I don't think Gene Colan drew for the... Anyway, this is an artist being awakened by these animal versions of the Archie characters. I don't know what's up with that. Here's Sabrina the Teenage Witch, number 1, which I think I have a facsimile of that issue. Here's issue 2. I was buying these before it was ever turned into... Well, there was a TV series, sitcom with Melissa Joan Hart in the 90s. I was buying these when, before any of that, when it was only remembered as a Filmation cartoon from the early 70s. This one I bought off the newsstand when it came out, issue 8. Issue 10. Issue 13, it's a witch beauty contest. issue 14. With issue 8 is the first one that has TV's newest star on there, I'm just noticing. But anyway, this is, so she was on Saturday morning television at this point. Here's 16. Another 16. 19. 25. Ooh, these are out of order. Here's 21. $29. She's a broom saleswoman. Hexie Harriet's used broom lot. $37. 46 is they're watching a Frankenstein movie. What is she saying? Sigh, Sabrina, this movie reminds me of my happy youth in Transylvania. That's a great cover. It's a little bit, it's not in the best condition. It's got some weird stain right about there. But 46. Oh, luckily I have another copy of it. Great, without the stain. Oh, another witches fashion show. Well, this is a fashion show. The other was a beauty contest. 58. 59. 60. Oh, it's bad on the back, this comic book showing stuff. 65, but I got to get through this box, man. Here's a modern comic from 1993. To me, this is modern, 30 years old. Covers in the 90s, Archie had a brief renaissance where the covers, where the art was kind of, was really improved. And this comes along during that time period. Look at this, 1994 Holiday Spectacular. You can just see this is, that's nice. Nicely done. Number 3 from 1995. See, they're going in the right direction. The artwork inside isn't bad. It's like, there was hope in the 1990s for Archie Comics, but not for many other comic book companies. First issue of a new Sabrina tied in with the sitcom. It's issue 1. This is, I guess, a variant cover for issue 1. I guess they, even back then, they were doing the multiple cover thing. Issue 2. Issue 15. I wonder what happened to that actress. It's another copy of 15. This is a modern Sabrina, another Sabrina comic. Issue 3 of where they're drawing them in a different style. This is probably in the last 10 years. Issue 4. They're not going for the nostalgia market. And then this is starting over again with panels. The cover has panels from the first Sabrina story. Okay, Archie had a... I saw these the other day at that comic dealer I was at. Archie got the rights to do The Shadow. This is in the 60s. In the early 70s, DC got the rights to The Shadow. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? Only the Shadow knows. If Shewan Khan, the cruel, ruthless, and calculating descendant of the notorious Genghis Khan, can destroy the Shadow, he will rule the world. Okay, he's drawn like he was in the pulps and, you know, the radio show that was really popular back in the 30s and 40s. Orson Welles was the first Shadow on radio. But by issue 2, I guess they got the sales back and they weren't good. So they remade the Shadow into a superhero guy. I'm sure that this is part of the Batman craze. That's probably what they're trying to do. Okay, look how he changes. Here he's kind of got red hair here, blonde hair. Issue 3, is it the same? It's basically the same costume, but now he has dark hair. Special book-length novel, Shoen Khan's House of Horrors. This that was the villain in the Shadow movie that came out with Alec Baldwin, but oh, okay, another of the 66 Marvel cartoons is being shown. Let's see what this one is. Oh, Captain America. Good. Anyway, so I must have all of them. So I'm glad I didn't rebuy them the other day. And here is so anyway, I think 4 issues is all it went. Ooh, it's January 65. This is before the Batman craze. This is a year before Batman was on TV, so I'm wrong about that. This is an interesting deal. It's an Archie comic, but under the Red Circle imprint. Super Cops, with a really cool cover from Gray Morrow. They've got bat symbols on their chest, and they're in a modern New York. It's probably the only Archie comic you'll ever see that has a prominently displayed prostitute. You know what I'm saying. But anyway, it turns out this is a movie. This is a tie-in to a movie that came out that I've never seen, but there's a trailer for it, I think, on YouTube. I don't think the whole movie is on YouTube, or I would have watched it. But apparently I think it may be based on a true story, kind of like Serpico, where the cops were nicknamed Batman and Robin. So I think that's what's going on there. I've got another copy, issue 1. Why, here's still yet another copy that's unbagged and boarded. So let's look inside it. So this is what the artwork looks like inside. It's a very serious-looking comic. Somewhere in here, I think there's an ad for the movie. I could be wrong. Remember these paintings of dogs playing poker and card games? Super Cops. And this guy's saying, Jesus, what was that? You don't often hear characters saying Jesus, even though he spells it Jeezus. That's anyway, this is a very mysterious comic in that it's oh, here we go. The Incredible but True Adventures of the Super Cops. Now an MGM movie. See it soon at your favorite theater. So this is meant to be a tie-in with the movie that apparently was upcoming. But so I've got 3 copies of that. Here's a copy of Super Duck, which is an Archie comic. See? Archie's Super Teens, their superhero personas return here. And when was this done? Probably the 80s, 90s, I don't know. When comics were $2, when were comics $2? I need better light, man. $19.96. Jeez. Well, the artwork is, this is reprints from the 60s with the sound effects. But some of this is, so is this. It looks like most of this is reprints of the classic superhero Archie comics. But I think the first story in here, the first story in here you can tell is modern art. Just the way they draw the girls real skinny. It's just a very different style of art. That's number 2. Number 3. Food Demon. Look at that. This is 60s stuff. But just the ads in the 90s were so ugly. So this ad for the Babysitters Club. But it looks like the first story is modern, and then they have a couple of reprints from the 60s in the back. And it looks like I have 2 copies of issue 4. Here they're trying to draw in a modern kind of X-Men style on the cover. But interiors, you still got the great 60s art in the back. And then where's the modern art at the beginning? Yeah, look, it's completely modern style. That's what they're trying to do. I didn't damage it. The paper makes a lot, this recycled paper makes a lot of noise if you just barely touch it wrong. Nope, no damage to the book. This may be one of my only copies of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic where they meet Archie. I think I have some issues that were drawn by Richard Corbin or something like that. That might be, but no offense. It's just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was, 10 years old in 1975. I was probably 20 when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came along. So I missed out on that. So here's a 90s comic, Veronica #1. This feels so thin. Like, it feels like this comic is like maybe 5 pages, like it's a super thin comic. Must be the paper they used. That's issue 1. Here's Veronica in Rome, issue 16. Veronica in Texas, issue 17. Let's see what she does in Texas. Different fashions. We're at the end because V is at the end of the alphabet. And Veronica 17. Veronica in the Bahamas, number 18. I think the comics in this run, well, I don't know. Here's number 20 with a National Enquirer parody. This wasn't a bad time period, and the covers are very striking during this 90s time period. The art wasn't total crap. The paper is very bad quality. It has a waviness to it. I think at this point they're all excited that they're using recycled paper. This came from the dollar bin at Lone Star Comics. It's got a stamp there. Might have been the 50-cent bin back then, or quarter bin. I don't remember, but they remember they would stamp over the indicia and the comics that were in that bin. Number 21. Number 24. The ads were just really ugly in comics in this time period, and it took away from the, here's a Captain Crunch ad that's really ugly. They're all ugly. It was a horrible time for advertising. Game Boy ad, ugly. It just, not my time period, man. But I'm like Mikey. I hate everything. Here's 27. She's wearing a map dress. Okay, and then here is 28 that became a very valuable comic because people liked it because, you know, it's like a pinup cover. And to the point where about a year ago, they did a facsimile of it, a replica of it. And Archie does a very good job of their facsimiles. This looks almost identical, except for the price tag says $3.99. And on the original comic, it was $1.25. $1.25, $3.99. And the other difference is, if you look, there's a little box on the original, but not on the facsimile. And it says, look for Baby Tales in Jughead Comics. I guess that was meant to be a barcode in regular stores, but this must have been a one I bought in a comic store. Okay, Kevin's sending me a little picture. It must be him getting into this this channel. Well, I'll talk with him as soon as he's not open. His store is not open today. Today's Sunday. I'll talk with him and see if he got in. That must be what that's about. I said to contact me if you have trouble getting into this. What is this called? Terrific TV, Throwback TV. 34. Yeah, they're just pinup covers, you know, at this time period. That 57. I mean, there's no joke to them or anything. It's just like her posing. Okay. 77. Hideous ad on the back. Okay. We get into the very last letters of the alphabet. Here's Wilbur from 1947, number 14. This is this Captain Strangelove. I got this from him. And he wrote, number 14, 1947, piece added to lower right corner of front cover, 1 inch by 1 3/4 inch, and inside reader copy 1.8. So he restored this comic. Let's see what he did. The piece is added to the lower right corner of front cover. Okay, can you see where there was a piece added to the lower right corner? First of all, let's look at the cover. Okay, so he's added a piece. Let's look. Oh man, do I need my glasses? I can't figure it out. All right, you can tell. Oh boy, do you see the white? How this going up and across is whiter? Then this is a slightly more discolored. So that's what he added. So he must have, with a computer printer, reproduced those pages. And inside, piece added to lower right corner of front cover. Okay, well that's almost completely, you can't tell that. So to me, that's a great thing. If you have the skill to do that, but you know, it takes down the value to the people that I don't even know. I don't even want to say. I need to stop being negative about these people that slab their comics and you know, that's what they want to do. That's what they want to do, man. It's a free country, man. I want to slab my comic book. Who wants to read, man? If I want to read it, I can just go online and read it. Yeah. Sure I can. But they would never be interested in this issue of Wilbur because it's not a key issue. It's nothing. It's not a bondage cover or something. Okay, 14. And this one is number 17 from 1948. He says, very good plus. It has Katie Keene by Bill Wagon. Last 2 pages restored, replaced with laser copies. Nice job, and archival mending tissue. So the last 2 pages he replaced. So let's take a look. Oh, I see. Okay, so originally the last page was cut like this. You know, that's all that was left of the. So he this is he left that there, and this is the reproduction page he put in. So, and so when you look at it, this is a real page. This is fake, a laser copy. It feels different. It's slicker. Then you turn, and there's what's left of that original page, and that's so he just put it back together. I think he was getting rid of these 2. Can't remember, but it's got a wonderful old comic smell, this book here. Okay, so that's Wilbur number 17. But we're not done. There's issue 4 of That Wilkin Boy. Oh, he sent me another picture. That Wilkin Boy number 7. No one remembers about That Wilkin Boy. Another copy of the same issue. Oh, see, That Wilkin Boy had a band called the Bingos. So there was Cotton Flubbernote, there was the Bingos, there was the Madhouse Mads, the Bingo star Bingo, Samantha, and Tough Teddy. Says, gosh, Uncle Herman, isn't the Bingo sound the grooviest? There's something wrong with that sound. The gear needs the tender touch of an electronics wizard, of which I'm one. Hey, get away from our sound equipment. He's altering their sound equipment. Anyway, there's the band, man. Okay, here's 16 of That Wilkin Boy. They're at the Duplex Chemical Plant. This one hippie's got a sign that says, smoke is no joke. It's a matter of life and breath. Stop pollution now. And she has, we care for clean air. Oh, now an Iron Man. Oh, no, it's not. It's the end of the superheroes. And it says, protesting. No daughter of mine is going to protest. This isn't how I raised you. And last but not least, World of Archie number 3. And that's the end of the Archie collection. It would appear so. See, of the books I got the other day, let's see if any of these need to go in these boxes before I put them away. Okay, let's turn up the sound now that the superhero cartoons are over, because I knew that those... Oh, that could still get me, because the Marvel Superheroes song has been re-released on YouTube, and I think on record by the Disney Corporation, so... Okay. Okay. I don't know how much I can show. Krantz Films. Braintree Lawrence. Okay, what time is it? Straight up 10 o'clock in the morning, Central Time. Okay, what will Throwback Television show us next?
Rewind. The Throwback Television Network is your destination for classic TV hits, silver screen favorites, and all
Yes,
the
indeed.
cartoons you grew up loving. It's the best of the past, playing right now. You're watching the Throwback Television Network. Find us on Roku's Stream on a Budget showcase or at throwbacktvnet.com.
Oh no. I'll stop my recording after the opening credits. I don't really want to record Lassie's Rescue Rangers. Although I'm sure it's a wonderful cartoon. The whole point of Lassie is he's a real dog, and who would want to watch a cartoon version of Lassie? Watching Lassie in a film, I understand. Okay, I pause. These Filmation cartoons always had the same background music. But when it was supposed to be a funny cartoon and they had that horrible laugh track, that was very annoying. But the action adventure shows like this aren't going to have the laugh track. Okay, let's see if there's any books I can... Okay, this is... Today's the 4th, so I only have to do one more eye drop for my post-surgery thing. Okay. Archie's joke book. Okay. There's another Archie book. This one that I just got last month, I think. And I had some other Archie books that I just threw in one of these boxes to file. Where is that box? Not that box. Not that one. Not that one. Box 3.
I can barely see anything down there.
Yeah, if they went down, it's going to be tough finding them in this lousy weather.
What heck do you think she was talking about, Mr. Turner?
Hard to tell, Jane Fox. There are 15 or 20 lakes in the park.
What about the animals, Dad? Maybe they tried to swim.
Here we go.
Good idea, Ben. Take her down, Laura. Let's see if we can round up the rescue animals.
Okay. I had shown you this a while back. This is it's got authenticated that Dan Parent signed it. So the Sabrina comics were they in that last box that I had? Where's box 5 now? Oh, here it is. I think they were. All right, that goes there. What else do I need to file? A couple of issues of Pep. Pep was in, oh, here we go, same box. So 220 is one that's been recently acquired that needs to go in here. There's 275. It's 226, 204. Okay, and Pep 243.
Let's hope that's not the case. We'll probably never find it.
Rescue 1, this is Jackie. Over. This is Rescue 1. Go ahead, Jackie.
Look at that ad. See, that's when the ads were cool looking. Not those 1990s ads or ads like that. That's what I want to see in my comic books. Pep 243. What I'll do is I'll record the commercials from this. As soon as it goes to a commercial break, I'll take it off pause. And then whatever show comes on after this, hopefully, is more exciting than Lassie's Rescue Rangers. 243. And then this is an issue of Laugh without the cover. And oh, didn't I leave one over there? This is Archie's Joke Book 191. So that would be in one of the early boxes. That's different. Maybe it's Archie's box 2. Yeah, this music was in everything. Flash Gordon, Tarzan, this adventure. It's in Star Trek a lot. I think this might have been, this piece of background music might have started in the Star Trek cartoon, and then it was reused for everything. Archie's Joke Book 191. Archie's Joke Book. Archie's Giant Series, Giant Series, Giant Series. I guess it goes here.
Say, do you happen to notice any cargo floating around anywhere, or is it still at the bottom of the lake? No, we didn't see it.
And I'll put this in here too.
Nothing valuable, just a couple of cases of champagne.
All right, I'm just gonna put this issue of Laugh in randomly, even though it doesn't belong there. It's okay, it's gonna be fine.
What you got there, girl? It's a canister of some highly explosive material.
Okay.
You mean like dynamite?
That's right.
Let's look at some other stuff.
Good question.
While we're waiting for a commercial, then we'll go over there and I'll show you how there's a hardcover book that reprints some of the stuff from Madhouse.
Lassie, where did you
I think over there in the library is where I've got that.
Hey, what? Stay right where you are, buddy. Everybody stay nice and quiet. Come over here, kid. Gonna do what he said.
Let's look at an issue of TV Review from March of 1955. You know, as a nurse, you can make $15 a day and more.
I'm gonna get that Jeep out of the chopper and we'll make a
do. We just can't let him take Jesus.
I Shoot the Stars by Sammy Davis Jr. You know, he was a member of the Church of Satan. He was a friend of Anton LaVey. So was Jane Mansfield. It's shocking, isn't it? The world's luckiest kids are Roy Rogers' sons.
What are we standing around for? Let's get after
How about that?
Not just yet, Susan. I'll turn it over to the Highway Patrol and let them handle it. Right now, those canisters are the most important. If any of them hit the new hydroelectric plant, it'll flood Vicksburg. We can't.
Fantastic.
But how do you even know there's more than one canister?
I don't know for sure, but we can't risk it. Now, let's get moving. Every second counts.
This is you know, there's Famous Monsters of Filmland, and then there were, Warren tried to do magazines about other genres of movies. Can I make this look like it's my head? What does that look like? Let's see. How do I do this? I don't know. I can't figure it out. So they did one about they did one title about westerns and one about science fiction movies. Famous Monsters is the only one that lasted. Yeah, Spacemen. That Spaceman was a facsimile. So is this one. This is not an original copy. This issue of Spacemen is real. Another copy of the same issue. The spectacular cover is the Wally Wood cover for the 1965 yearbook.
So there's no room for mistakes. We've got to get every last canister. The current is fairly strong.
The astronaut surrounded by space girls reading the latest issue of Spacemen. Here's a recent facsimile from PS Art Books of a Charlton Famous Monsters imitation that is the Charlton Horror Monster magazine is famous for it. Well, all Charlton comics are famous for their cheap paper. Famous, perhaps I should say infamous. But that Mad Monsters magazine is especially bad as far as crumbling in your hands. So they did facsimiles so that you won't have to worry about that anymore. And then when Batman became a hit on TV, they did this one shot about, this is Warren Publishing, about superheroes in film, concentrating mostly on the characters from the movie serials. And then, of course, the new Batman TV series. And this probably came out right about the time the movie hit theaters. The TV show premiered in January of '66, and in June of '66, just a few months later, the movie hit theaters. I think the original plan, from what I heard, was for the movie to be the first thing that people saw, and then the TV show would go from the movie, but it didn't work out that way. Here's a Warren one-shot on Moonraker, the James Bond movie, first James Bond movie after Star Wars came out. Now, one of my favorite magazine covers, I'd like to blow this up into a kind of a little bit of about 11 by 17, make it a poster. This is The Twist. Now, I don't know that this didn't come out from Warren Publishing. Who put this out? I have no memory of buying this, but I'm sure glad I have it. I just don't know how it came into my possession, but I'm sure glad it did. Man, Twist. I don't know who put this out, but I'm glad they did. And this is another one I'd like to make a poster of. This John Wayne cover of Gun World, June of '67. Now, Harvey Kurtzman wanted to do a magazine, and so William Gaines said, okay, we can make Mad into a magazine, and that made him happy for a little bit. Then he got pissed about maybe credit where credit's due. I think he just wasn't happy. But he left Mad. My impression was always that Mad turned into a magazine so the Comics Code couldn't touch it. That's been my impression for decades. That's what I thought since I was a kid, for 50 years. But now the story I hear is that there was always plans to make Mad into a magazine. Anyway, he left and started his own magazine called Humbug. So this is Harvey Kurtzman leaving Mad and doing his own thing. So if Harvey Kurtzman had stayed with Mad, Mad probably would have looked very much like this, because this is where he was going. And it's very Mad-like, a lot of text there. But it doesn't look exactly like Mad, but it has some of the, this is what is this? Parody of a muscle magazine. It's got really great artists in it and everything. And now, something that Mad never did was a parody of Randan. And it's got, Will Elder art. I don't like the text. The EC always had that text that was very machine looking. And William Gaines didn't like it, but he kept the couple employed that lettered the EC Comics because he didn't want to fire this couple. And that I guess his father had used. But the thing is, Harvey Kurtzman didn't like that. So in his war comics and in Mad, he had the hand lettered that looks more acceptable to our modern eye. But then when he left Mad, he did this weird lettering that's machine. Also, the thing that makes it look odd is that it's not all caps. In comic books, traditionally, all words are in all capital letters. But this is all, uppercase, lowercase. It's unusual looking. But it's what Mad might have become. It wasn't a success. Humbug wasn't a success. He also did, he had Humbug, and then he did, hold on. No, he did. First one he did was in a smaller format. I'm trying to remember the name. Then he did Humbug, and then Hugh Hefner ponied up some money for him to do a really slick humor magazine, and that was Trump. Here he's got Stan Freberg. Stan Freberg this has had some bug chew. Yuck. I don't like that. But this is the only time I've ever seen a copy of Humbug. If it wasn't for Harvey Kurtzman and what he did, he kind of really inspired the underground comic movement of the 60s. And he gave... Okay, so there was... Trump is the slick magazine that's done with... That's a Frazetta painting of a character from Little Abner, a parody of the Breck ads, shampoo ads. But see, it's all on... Oh, this pretzel. It's all on slick paper. And it's got beautiful color. It's not... I need to make sure... Some of these may have inappropriate stuff, so I need to be careful what I show. Because since it's financed by Hugh Hefner, I think it has some kinds of things that... It's Wally Wood parody of Disney. I think that it was just too expensive for what. It was just too expensive. Hugh Hefner didn't want to. Yeah, I can't show all this. But it's some beautiful Will Elder art folding out about cavemen. It folds out to some other stuff that. Anyway, parodies of comic strips like you would remember in Mad. So that's Trump number 1 from 1957. Man, don't they ever have commercials in this thing? Here's Trump number. I just remembered the first thing he no. Okay, never mind. Trump. This is Trump number. Two from March of '57. I don't know if this is the last issue. It's just like, what if Mad was printed with Hugh Hefner's money? And I guess it didn't sell well enough for. Hugh Hefner just had to cut it loose. But then Hugh Hefner, of course, came along and employed Harvey Kurtzman and Will Elder in doing Little Annie Fanny for decades. So he loved their humor and art. This is a great piece of art from this pulp parody. It's great Will Elder art. It's a nice magazine. It just didn't sell. And then he has these covers that, how is that going to grab someone? Sometimes he wanted to do these covers that were just not going to grab readers. And that may have been its downfall, I think, is you're doing these. Same thing with that issue I just showed you. The cover doesn't grab you like an issue of Mad would. So then he did Help. And Help was done by Warren. And I thought I had more than 2 copies of Help. That's weird. But Help, he in this magazine, he had celebrity covers, and he had and I think that's where I think R. Crumb got published in Help, and some of those guys, Gilbert Shelton. The other magazine that Warren did was Screen Thrills Illustrated. And but Famous Monsters, of course, is the one that we most remember. And, of course, his comic magazines, Creepy, Eerie, Vampirella, are the most famous Warren. But Warren was always trying. Warren wanted to be Hugh Hefner. But he wound up doing kind of this kind of stuff. There's a modern magazine coming out right now. In fact, there's a new issue I'm about to get from Kevin at Gotham City Comics. This is called Cryptology #1. This is a currently being published magazine, and it's worth you seeking out. It covers monster stuff in movies, bubblegum cards, comic books. Every genre is represented in this really cool magazine. And here's issue 5, and issue 6 is on the stands now. I just haven't gotten it yet. This is 3D Monsters. This is a 3D magazine. And mainly they just photographed Aurora model kits in this, and with a 3D camera. I love this ad on the back that's got everything wonderful about the 60s there, all the Aurora monster kits, the Ratfink, the Lindy Loonies, there's the Weirdos, dinosaurs, just fantastic. I'm starting to get hungry. And then here's the glasses still there. But it's like, this is a picture of the mummy kit. And it's hard. I wish the glasses weren't still in there because it makes it hard to turn the pages. Anyway, it's a good magazine. It's worth getting. I have this box out, but I don't know why I didn't show you all this stuff. I think it was because Bob Burns died, and I wanted to show you his magazine. This is a magazine from Larry Ivy, Monsters and Heroes, and he was a fan. Here he's done a book cover that you could use that he's designed for At the Earth's Core, Edgar Rice Burroughs book. The History of the Comic Cons. So this is Comic Con 1964. So this was in on newsstands, but it was done by a fan, and it so this is okay, this is Larry Ivy actually did the artwork for this. Larry Ivy also did this painting. It's a monster magazine. Not too different from Castle of Frankenstein. And I think Larry Ivy did some of the covers for Castle of Frankenstein. In fact, I'm sure he did. So this is from July of '69. He lived in Ansonia, NYC. What does that mean? Wow. This is issue 5. So I don't have all of them. Here's number 6, Flash Gordon, The World of John Carter. And this came out October of '69. Oh, this time he's giving you a book cover to put on A Princess of Mars, the first John Carter book. He's got an article on Al Williamson's art. Young Al Williamson. Flash Gordon, a lot of stuff on Flash Gordon. Wonderful. Almost the whole issue is Flash Gordon, and then this comic strip by Larry Ivy. And then this is really interesting. Who did the art here? The Monsters of Mars. Okay, so there's the skull of a Thark. What I find really interesting is this illustration. There's John Carter, and then there's the Martian horse, called a thoat. The Martian horse didn't have hooves. They had padded, like cat paws. So the Martian horses can sneak up on you, rush up on you like a cat, and you don't hear them coming. And every animal, every creature except for the red Martians on Mars. They have all these. Oh shit! Am I recording this? Oh, Beanie and Cecil. Okay. Okay, so it's interesting how they draw the Thark. They're supposed to have 4 arms, but it's like they really have 2 torsos. That's just this artist's interpretation. So, and they show the scale. Interesting. This is someone really into this stuff, and I appreciate. Oh, I appreciate that. This is an album that came out. You can listen to it on YouTube, and it's from the '60s. But Buster Crabbe does the voice of Flash Gordon on it. Okay. We've seen everything in that box. Why is this box down? I thought I took this back upstairs. Somehow I brought it back down. I think this box fell over. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't damaged. Looks like everything's fine in here. Hold on.
Here are the rules. The first one, to run across the jungle, inflate a balloon, and return here and pop it is the winner.
Get ready to roar with Linus the Lionhearted as he takes his pals on wild and wacky adventures. Jump in for classic fun and timeless fun. It's always an adventure with Linus the Lionhearted. Tune back Saturday mornings at 8 on the Throwback Television Network.
Look who's come to your house to stay.
I have this issue of Aquaman that I need to file, and this is the box that has my Silver Age Aquaman books. So this is number 40. Oh, except this starts with number 53. So yeah, it probably should be in the box before this, but I'll put it in here for right now. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is my my Batman box. It's let's see, Batman. I showed you this recently. That's why this box was out. Ooh, it has Blackhawk in it. I got an issue of Blackhawk, I believe, and it had recently, yes. And then Captain America goes through Captain America. All right.
If you give it a sharp cut, it'll break like a biscuit. Now, when you make silly putty round and drop it, it'll bounce higher than a rubber ball. And here's something else you can do with silly putty. Flatten it, press a picture in your newspaper, lift it, stretch it this way, and that.
Okay, I got this issue, Blackhawk, 205.
You can buy silly putty for $1 for every size you sold. And remember, nothing else is silly putty.
It's 239, 228, 215, 206. Oh, okay, this fits in right in front of 206. Beanie and Cecil started as a puppet show in Los Angeles, and then Bob Clampett creation. Stan Freberg was heavily involved in that. What I was trying to say, he's an audio equivalent of the early Mad. So if you listen to Stan Freberg's records on Capitol, It's the exact humor of where's the lid to that? Okay, something's not right here. I've got an extra lid here. Oh my gosh, what's going on here? Hold on. I was wondering because it's a magazine-sized box lid, but this is a magazine. I've got my early Archies in a magazine boxes because they're so wide, because they're from the time period when comics were wider. Okay, well, let's go over here. Is the cat in my chair? Oh, the cat's in my chair, man. I don't want to disturb the cat. We'll look at those books tomorrow, or not tomorrow. I won't have any time tomorrow. We'll look at those books at some time in the future. Right now, I'm wondering what I could get to eat. Yeah, I don't know. I guess nothing. All right. Well, it's been a wonderful time. What a great show this has been, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to disappear now. Oh, you got to see this. The little kitten is sleeping in Drew's bed. Incredible, huh? How about that? Let's see what the weather's like outside. It's all right. It's all right. Feels a little bit cold. Who would have thought it would be cold in January? Well, I'll see you guys next time.